Polygon 𝗕𝗃 price update.
Let's get into it.
So today, guys, we'll be taking another cheeky look at Polygon's 𝗕𝗃. We'll be taking a look at the technical analysis and seeing exactly what is going on here. As of the point of recording this video, it is up 24.2%. So pretty good moves have been happening here in the last 24 hours. As we get into this video, guys, if you do find it useful and informative, hit that like button. We both really do appreciate it. And of course, if you happen to be new here to the channel, then why not consider subscribing? By becoming a subscriber, you'll be kept up to date with all of those new cryptocurrencies and hidden gems that we talk about here. It is free, you'll stay well informed, so why not? And Chris, is there anything else that you would like to add before we jump on down and start reviewing what's going on here with Polygon's 𝗕𝗃?
Yeah, just let us know what your price prediction is for the peak of the bull run for 𝗕𝗃 Polygon. Really interested to know.
Fantastic. Right, guys, let's get on into it.
Let's do it.
So here we go, guys. This is 𝗕𝗃 to the USDT, daily chart, and Binance is the data source. Here we have that Fibonacci retracement tool, and it runs from the low of the 30th of January through to the high that was achieved on the 10th of March. That was a 40-day run that saw 1,361% in very juicy gains. Since then, there was a pretty standard correction that lasted for 44 days, and nothing really strenuous here happened. The lowest that we actually saw was just below the 50% retracement zone, and we didn't actually go down to the 382 at all. There, we can also see that 50 moving average, the 100 moving average, and the 200 moving averages are starting to rise up along this Fibonacci level as well, whereas the 50 moving average in this consolidation phase just here was getting some good area of support for those candles. And we can see that's what really helped push this price beyond the resistance level of 47.2, past the previous all-time high, and heading up towards that first price target. So 𝗕𝗃's first price target was 85.8 cents, and we can see that that was taken out just over here. And then we had that consolidation, that kind of correction, come back down again, finding support at 74 cents. That was a good area of support, and yesterday we saw another fantastic move to the upside. And this saw us heading up towards that 1.618 Fibonacci extension level of 85.8 cents. And then today we went ahead and set some other additional highs above and beyond that of previous. And this is doing quite well. The volumes have really come in nice and strong now. And we can see that right here in the volume lines. And ultimately, we're looking to continue that. Obviously, the macro view is still a decreasing volume, but ultimately this micro view does show it start to increase the volume side here. So if that does continue, then 𝗕𝗃 could be onto a pretty good run. We can see that we have corrected down and below the overbought area on that relative strength index. So right now it's at 69 with plenty of room to grow to the upside still. So if that volume continues to come in really nicely and strongly, then we will continue this to the upside. If, however, the volumes start to diminish, then that's run's going to be, I guess, coming to an end rather quickly. And then we'll be expecting that correction to come in due course. So on this daily chart, things are definitely looking quite interesting. We're not overbought yet, and we are heading up towards the overbought area where obviously there's a little bit more room where we can grow 𝗕𝗃's price. But obviously the main thing here is the volume does have to come in nice and strongly in order to continue that growth to the upside. What I'm going to do is just pull this down into our 4-hourly. And here you can see how we've found that support across that 74 cents, and then obviously moving on up from there. Now, when we look at the volume side, when it comes to the 4-hour chart here, we can see how we had good volume coming in on that micro view, really pushing things up a little bit. And in the last few candles here, there's actually had a diminishing volume. So the volumes are coming down, which is basically meaning that we're running out of steam pretty fast. And we are overbought, so we're looking for a correction to come in here. And we'll probably look to get a kind of correction either at one of these key areas down here. So I'm thinking probably going to be about 92 cents, something like that. Okay, so if the volume doesn't continue to spike up in good volume and actually continues this downward trend, then we are likely to get a reversal on our RSI, and that will pull us back down again, and we're looking to find support just up here. Okay, so we'll have to watch that situation. Now, the other thing that we can see from this 4-hour chart is we can see that the 50 moving average here was actually acting as support just over here at 5 a.m. this morning. And we can also see over here as well, it was acting as a good area of support before it became a resistance over here. So it's been a bit of both, right? We found good support on this area. We had a breakdown. And once we broke down below it, that actually became a bit of resistance. And then we broke above it and tested it back as support. So that 50 moving average is going to be a key thing to kind of watching out for to make sure we stay above it. Now, the 100 and 200 moving averages are quite far below those candles, and they've got a bit of movement to get them back above. Now, what we're going to do is go ahead and pull this into our hourly. And here we can see those moving averages quite firmly below those candles. So right now we are overpriced against the average pricing of a 𝗕𝗃 token. And obviously you can see that area of support being found on the 200 moving average in the case of this hourly chart. So the other thing we can see is the volumes are really coming down sharply here. And so we are looking to stabilize at this point just up here now. If we're going to come back down, we are looking to find a good support zone. And actually, I think we're going to find it right there. I'm just going to mark this on the chart. I'll get our horizontal ray. Looking at that, I'm saying that 88.9 it seems to be an area of good support and resistance. So what we can do is we can see here on this hourly chart that the resistance was found up here at 4 a.m. We can see that was found at 88.9. And then we found and flipped it and turned it into support here at 11 a.m. today. So ultimately, we're looking at resistance turn to support. And if we do have to have that correction, which I think, is on the horizon shortly here because of the decreasing in volume, then we're looking to come back down and stress test this 88.9. Now, what we want to do in that case is get that volume to diminish a little bit further, pull the volume a little bit lower here, and whilst we correct that RSI, get the RSI to a pretty good position on this hourly chart, and then have that volume come back in again. So in the same way that we saw this happen, we saw that kind of volume happen there. That's the kind of scenario that we're looking for, right? We're looking for a decrease and then another increase. And hopefully that will get the relative strength index nicely corrected so that we can have more of a swing to the upside and continue the growth of the 𝗕𝗃 token here. So things are looking pretty interesting. Looks like we've got good support being found at 88.9. And otherwise there seems to be a bit of an area of resistance, and that seems to be up here approximately at around 98 or so cents. So we'll have to watch that. I mean, there's a little bit of an upper area of 99. It's that kind of psychological barrier, Chris, at about $1. That seems to be the barrier there at the moment that we're going to have to push through. So what we might find is you end up trading between these two things until your volumes and your relative strength index align to get you pushing right up there. It can be quick. Those things can happen very, very quickly, or they could also take a bit of time. Timing is the hardest thing to gauge, guys, when it comes to trying to price things. We always look for key levels rather than specific time frames. So we are looking to find that correction at some point. We are close to being overbought here, actually on the line of 70 at the moment. So we are looking for that correction. We want to kind of come down to 88.9, stress test that area as support, and then hopefully have the relative strength index corrected enough that allows us to push on up through 99 cent and hopefully push past $1 and beyond. So things there are looking pretty good. And what I'm going to do is just pull this back up into our daily here and then just kind of talk about where we are looking to go, right? So the first price target was 85.8. The second price target that we're looking for is $1.36. So that's the next barrier of entry, right? So we obviously have this barrier here, this resistance line at $1 or 99 cents. And then once we're past that, we're looking to turn that area into support. So ultimately, if I just grab my arrows, we're kind of thinking that ultimately you're going to come down and stress test your 88.9. Then hopefully that'll push you above and beyond. Maybe you'll push up to about $1.20 or something like that. And what you want to do is ultimately, if I just grab hold of that for a second there, we want to come back down and retest that dollar level before you then go on up again and go after that first price target. So it takes a bit of time because it's really hard to do these things in one move. It can happen obviously here if you've got the right kind of volumes coming in, but at some point you have to come back down and retest these previous areas of support and resistance, right? So ultimately that's the kind of pattern that we're kind of looking to see unfold here for 𝗕𝗃. And it'll be really interesting to see how long it takes. Time's the hardest thing to gauge, as we said before. But ultimately, that's our target, $1.36. After that, we are talking about a $1.87, and that's followed by a $2.19. So there's some pretty good targets here for 𝗕𝗃, and we want to see how much of a correction is needed after such an explosive action to the upside. What I'm going to do is just for fun throw on this chart here. So from our low down here through to where we got to today. That was another 159% in gains there. So some pretty good stuff has been made in a short space of time, but we want to see how this kind of forms. We're looking to find that support, and we're also looking to break on through and try to go after that second price target. But Chris, is there anything else that you'd like to add for 𝗕𝗪𝗃 here?
Yeah, just expect really big things from this project, Nick. You know, for me, been invested in 𝗕𝗪𝗃 for a long time. Yeah, and it's doing everything now that kind of was expecting it to do. So it's going to be interesting as the next few weeks and months sort of you know, crack on to see where the price discovery leads us to. I think it's going to be remarkable, Nick.
Fantastic. Guys, if you found this video useful and informative, hit that like button. We both really do appreciate it. And of course, if you happen to be new to the channel and you want to stay up to date with everything that we do here, from those new cryptocurrencies to those hidden gems, then do consider subscribing to the channel. It is free, you'll stay well informed, so why not? And with all that said, done and out of the way, we hope you have a fantastic day, guys, and we'll catch you all in the next one.
Yeah, take care.